Hi foodies, today I'm sharing with you a simple but impressive dish that you can make for special occasion or just to celebrate something, or if you want to treat yourself. Steak and creamy Cajun shrimp. Let's get into it. So once you get your steak, you are going to be cleaning it however you like. Everybody's culture is different. Some of us love our cold water and lime juice. Then pat dry, okay? So make sure you pat dry it however you clean it, then pat dry, all right? Then we're gonna be seasoning with coarse kosher salt or sea salt. I'm also using Cajun spice, paprika, garlic powder, onion powder, some cumin and chili powder. If you have a steak rub, you can always use your steak rub. Now I'm adding freshly ground pepper. That is definitely the best when you're making a steak. Now, whatever you do on this side, you're just going to go ahead and repeat it on the other side, and then make sure you pat it into the fat, every single part of the steak. If you have a favorite steak rub at home, you could definitely use it instead of the spices I used, okay? It's up to you. Now what we're going to do, guys, is put the seasoned steaks in the fridge. I'm using a wire rack. You can use a bigger cooling rack if it can fit in your fridge. This is because I don't want it to sit in any moisture. And we're going to let it refrigerate for about 40 minutes to an hour. After that, leave it on that same rack or use a wider one if you prefer. Put it on a baking tray with foil, and we're going to bake this in the oven at 275 for about 25 minutes or until the internal temp is like 135. Now for the shrimp, guys, okay, you want to clean it and then pat dry. After that, drizzle on some oil and we'll season with paprika, Cajun spice, some black pepper, onion powder, garlic powder. Now, usually I love to have the tail on the shrimp just for presentation, but this was on sale, okay? Use the one with the tail if you have that. That is perfectly fine. If you want to season the shrimp overnight, that is perfectly fine, okay? Or you could do it the same day. So once it's seasoned, we're going to be cooking it in a pan over medium-high heat. So just drizzle some oil in the pan, and then we're going to cook the shrimp on both sides. So what we're trying to do is we want to get that blackened effect. So we have a lot of spices on the shrimp. That's going to give us that, little bit of crusting going on. So just cook the shrimp for about 1 minute on each side. If you're using jumbo or colossal shrimp, then you might need just a little bit more time, but not a lot. So flip them over. You'll see you've got that slight blackening color going on there. It's kind of like when you're making blackened salmon and you get that little bit of crusting going on. It's very flavorful. So take them out of the pan and set them aside. Add butter to the same pan. Then we're going to cook minced bell peppers and minced white or yellow onions. Just give this a stir for under a minute, and then go ahead and add some minced garlic. You want to maintain a medium heat here, and then go ahead and add some heavy cream or whipping cream. If all you have is milk, fine, use your full fat milk, but I love heavy cream or whipping cream for this because they are definitely thicker. What we'll do is just add some more seasoning to this because we want this to be very flavorful. We're going in with some dry oregano and fresh thyme leaves. I'm also going to be repeating those seasonings from the shrimp right here in the sauce. So you can add them to taste. That's what I always do. If I want a little more color, I'll actually increase the amount of paprika as well. So give it a taste. Once it's great and the heavy cream or whipping cream has just reduced slightly, Then you're gonna lower the heat and stir in the cheese. So this is Parmesan cheese grated at home. You're gonna stir it in a little at a time over low heat, like very low heat. Once you've added the cheese, you can go ahead and taste the sauce, see if you want to add any more spices, and then you are good to go. All you need to do now is to toss in the shrimp. Once you add the shrimp, just keep it over very low heat while we finish up the steak. So this is what the steak looks like when it's out of the oven. It's very pale, so we need to finish it up on the stove because we did the reverse sear method. We baked it, then we're gonna sear it. So get a cast iron pan with oil. Once the oil is sizzling, you're gonna be adding the steaks to your cast iron skillet. Once your steaks are done, guys, please take them out of the oven immediately because I had mine in the oven for just a little bit too long, so I won't be able to sear it for too long on the stove because then it would be completely overcooked. But definitely try to sear it for about 1.5 to 2 minutes on each side and render the fat side if your steak has that fat side. And then once you flip it, guys, make sure you add butter immediately, add some garlic, fresh thyme, and then when the butter is foamy, you're gonna be basting the steak. So allow the garlic flavor to get into the butter and the thyme flavor and just baste the steak until you are done, okay? If you want to, you could use a meat thermometer just to check for your desired temperature and then let this rest briefly. It doesn't need a long resting time because we did cook it slowly to start, okay? So these are good to go. Make sure while it's resting, you pour all the pan juices and the garlic and the thyme on to the steak so those flavors can just seep into it. You want to make sure that the creamy Cajun shrimp is warm and plate everything. I have some creamy mashed potatoes and string beans, and then I just top it off with the steak. Once that shrimp is nice and warm and good to go, you can just pour it on top of the steak. If you prefer to put it to the side, that's fine too, but definitely works for me when I put it right on top. And that's our gorgeous and delicious steak with creamy Cajun shrimp. You could serve it up just like this if you want to, or you can add a few, other things for presentation. You could sprinkle parsley all over, or you could do what I did. I just sprinkle a little paprika on the shrimp. So just a little bit for color. And then of course you can add half a lemon, or you could add some lemon slices because of course we are serving seafood. This dish is just guaranteed to impress anyone who loves a good dinner. It was so scrumptious. And you know what? It's more affordable than actually going out to dinner. Okay, so I won't knock you if you want to go out for dinner, but if you want to stay home, definitely try this one out. I will show you guys the inside of the steaks. This one I cooked a little longer because I would be giving my son some of this one. I don't give him anything under well done for now. When he's a little older, then I'll give him medium well or medium. And then for my husband, we had this one. This one is more of a medium to medium well. We are comfortable with that temperature. So please go ahead, guys. Grab your groceries and make this deliciousness. I know you're gonna love it. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye.